Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Win, Lose or Draw. The Premier League is back. Robbie's back. I'm back. We're ready to go. And it starts off with Arsenal against Man United. It couldn't get any better. How you doing, Robbie? How's your summer?
I'm good, man. I'm good. The summer's been really, really busy. Transfers, pre-season. It's been good. It's been good. I've enjoyed the summer. It's been nice. But I can't believe that, the first game of the season, Man United, Arsenal. It's incredible. It's incredible. You know what I mean? And I'm looking forward to the game now. We've all got some exciting new signings in. And obviously the Sesko Gyökeres thing's the big talking point around this weekend. But yeah, I'm just excited because I think, both teams, have made a lot of exciting signings. So to see those players and how they get on in this, in this new season is going to be really good.
Yeah, I think it's we're both long enough in the tooth to know that opening day you're never going to be as good as you can be, and it's probably a little bit early for both of us. But then again, for the spectators of football, it's just a brilliant start to the weekend. If you're new to Win, Lose or Draw, we do it every week. Friday on That's Football, and then Monday we react to the results on DR Sports. We keep it really simple. We go through every single Premier League game, and it's like Liverpool, Bournemouth first. Who's going to win? If we both go for a win and Liverpool win, we get a point. And we accumulate points during the season. And we actually have got a forfeit. Now, we're open to a new one, but I've put it down there. And to be honest, I'm not comfortable with it, and Robbie's not that comfortable with it either. But what we're saying at the moment is if whoever loses has to wear the new kit launched next summer and do an interview at the opposite ground. So when I win, Robbie's got to come to Old Trafford and wear the new United kit and just do an
when
interview.
You win. So what about last year then? Who won last year?
I know you did, but it was halfway through the season, so it was
almost really like
a rehearsal.
Rehearsal. We should really be. You should be doing a forfeit now, right?
Yeah,
for last
I'm
season.
happy to do a forfeit, but not as big as that. And anyway, it's not a full kit, by the way. We're not full kit wankers. It'll just be a top in jeans and a quick interview. So
a lot of people will say we're wankers without the full kit. But yeah,
exactly. We don't need to wear the shorts and the t-shirt, the socks and the shorts. Okay, let's start off with Arsenal, Manchester United then, because that's the big one, and then we'll go through the other games. You mentioned Sesko Gyökeres. I'm sure you've done a lot of previews. I've done mine, so I want to sort of get a bit of an angle on it. I've got to say, look, rivalry is fantastic, but I actually thought you'd end up with Sesko. And I think you're right to get Gyökeres. And I still would rather have Gyökeres at Man United as much as I like Sesko. So for me, I think they are two really good signings. Of course, everyone's going to turn it into, I hope one flops. That's the way football works. But I can't see Gyökeres flopping because I think you create so many chances and you've needed it. But how close were you to getting Sesko? And was it just price and experience at the end of the day?
I think, and by the way, like I always wanted Gyökeres. Even when I was doing my transfer shows at the start of the season and we were being linked with both, I was like, let's get Gyökeres because I know the ceiling's high on Sesko and he's an exciting player. I was just always like, we need a guy that's going to come in, score goals right now. We don't need another player where the ceiling's high, right? I'm fed up hearing the ceiling's high thing at Arsenal. We need a ready-made goal scorer. So I'm so happy that we got Gyökeres. But I think if it would have been the previous sporting director, which was Edu, he was pushing hard for Sesko. They'd been speaking to him over the past couple transfer windows and really wanted to bring him in. But once we got the new sporting director, Andrea Berta, came in, the rumors were always that he wants Gyökeres. He doesn't really, Sesko's not really the guy he wants. He'd like to get Gyökeres in for the same reason. He just feels that like he'll get the goals right now and he's a bit more of a prolific goal scorer. So I think that was what changed the dynamic, Andrea Berta, because I think Arteta and Edu were the ones that favoured Sesko. But once Andrea Berta came in, he wanted Gyökeres and he got him. It took a long time, was very protracted, but it got done. And I'm really excited to see him against Manchester United. He's only played a couple of pre-season friendlies, but in the last game that he played, he looked really sharp. He scored a great goal a headed goal because people were saying he can't score headers, right? And then he, had a couple of attempts as well. And you can see he's very direct. It's something that Arsenal have lacked for a very long time. Somebody who's just hungry to score goals, not somebody who gets into that area and is always looking to lay it off or drop to the edge of the box, or someone who, when they walk off that pitch, they want to know that they've got a couple of goals to their name if possible. So I'm really happy with the signing of Gyökeres. And listen, yes, the narrative is going to be all about those two, Gyökeres, Sesko, but both of them have hardly played. I mean, as I said, Gyökeres is only a game and a half really that he's played. I think he played 10 minutes in a game in Hong Kong. He played then when the first game in Emirates Cup, he played just over a half. And then last weekend, he probably played for about 70 minutes. And in Sesko, I don't even think he's played yet, has he? He's not even played for you. You only just signed him. So, even though we're both looking at what they're going to do, the likelihoods of either of them playing a full 90 is probably, probably not going to happen.
No, you wouldn't expect that early in the season. I mean, look, I've put Gyökeres down as on my Premier League predictions, winning the Golden Boot, which is a bit out there, but I really like him. And I live in the Midlands, and I know a few Cov fans, and they're like, why are people saying he's only played in the Portuguese? They loved him at Coventry. And the Championship is a hard league if you don't know what anything about the Championship. It's a tough league. So I think he'll be a big success. And he's such a big threat now in a team that, talking about the game on Sunday, he's such a big threat in a team that, again, I don't think it gets the respect it deserves because it's Arsenal and they finished second. Brilliant defensively. The midfielders, I love Zubimendi. Declan Rice has been brilliant. I think Odegaard had a bad season. He can only be better. Then you've added Gyökeres in. Saka obviously missed half of it with injury. Really, really good team. I've gone against the grain as well and said that Arsenal will win the league. Are you expecting that this year? Or, I mean,
you can't expect it with what Liverpool have done. They've done a madness, and they're still probably going to bring in Isak as well.
Yeah.
I think Man City are definitely going to be back, and Chelsea are a threat as well. But what you just said there, Mark, is why I have to back Arsenal. Is the fact that it's quite a stable team. Even though we've made a lot of signings, that team, which a lot of those players were injured last year. A lot of people forget that players like Gabriel missed literally half a season. From sort of February onwards was out. So was Saka. So was Havertz. So a lot of players like that. They ain't really added much to the starting lineup. So it's the same goalkeeper, same defense, right? Which was the best defense in the Premier League last season. And like you said, in that midfield, it's a solid midfield. They've only really added Zubimendi, who's a bit more mobile than, say, Partey, and also is very, very good on the ball. And then up front is still Saka. Now they've added in Gyökeres. So there's not a lot of big changes. Whereas you look at Liverpool, as great as those signings are, they're going to have to get used to the style of play. I think we saw a little bit of that last week. Frimpon's a bit different to Trent. Kerkez is going to have to get used to it. Ekitike's new. There's new dynamics within the team. So hopefully we can sort of hit the ground running quicker than a lot of other teams. But we do have a really tough start to the season. I mean, going away to Man United first game, I'm torn as to how getting you lot first game of the season is, first of all, the atmosphere is going to be up. You guys are going to be really up for the game. And listen, even last year when you weren't playing well, it was a draw. You know what I mean? Let's not forget that, right? And we were lucky. I think Arsenal were lucky to get that draw. You were all over us at one time. Raya was like our man in the match. But
United can raise it against anyone, can't they? We're crap, but we can raise. Well, last season we were crap.
But then I also look at it and think, well, are we catching them at the right time? Because Sesko hasn't played yet, and Buemo's just still getting used to things there.
Anana's in goal.
Same, Anana's still in goal. Cunha's still getting used to things. Is it better to face United now, or face it, you face 3 months down the line and all of those players are really firing, and then, there are serious problems. So, it's going to be such an interesting game because, you just don't know how we saw the other night in that game with Spurs and PSG.
Yeah,
When you play in a team, PSG, just before that game, we were doing a watch along on DR, and we had a PSG fan on, and he said, "Listen," he goes, "since the Club World Cup, they ain't played. They ain't played. They ain't done no thing because they've been partying on the French Riviera, and you could see that the amount of times they gave the ball away and things like that because they were rusty." So this game's going to be interesting. I don't think no one's going to be firing on full cylinders. So it's so difficult to call what this game's going to be.
I'm going to go first on this because I've said for weeks I don't think we'll lose. Also, as you know, Robbie, Arsenal don't necessarily have the greatest relationship with opening days. I remember Mickey Quinn all those years ago and Norwich, but more recently Brentford, and you're away. So I'm going to go. I think Arsenal are capable of winning this 3 or 4-0 because they're one of the best teams in Europe. But I think we will show respect. I think we will counter, which is going to be a back five. I think Casemiro will play in the mid. I'm going to go with a draw for Man. Yeah, I'm going to go with a draw, which I would be very happy with. But I think with Arsenal, these are the sort of games you've got to win, especially with the start of the season.
Draw's a good shout, but I'm going to go with a win. I think we've been indifferent in pre-seasons, but he does look like he's been trying out a load of things. But I think last weekend there were good signs from Arsenal. Zubimendi looked really, really good, and so did Gyökeres. And so did Saka. I mean, we were talking about all the new guys, but we also forget the old guys as well. Saka looked really good. So I'm going to go for an Arsenal win.
There we go. Super Sunday. We're looking forward to it. Let's go through the rest of the games then. As you know, win, lose or draw, you can play along, get your predictions in below. So I've gone for a draw, Man United, Arsenal, the biggest game of the weekend. And Robbie has gone for a win. Obviously, we get a point depending on what that happens, unless Man United win, and then we don't get any points. I'll be very happy about that. It starts tonight. It's Liverpool, Bournemouth. Robbie, you're first on this one. You're going to be looking at Liverpool a lot over the next few months, as well, hopefully you are, if you're going to be in the title race with them. But Bournemouth decimated. Do you see an opening day shock at Anfield?
No. I mean, listen, at Anfield as well. It's going to be an emotional night. Of course, they'll be paying tribute to Jota, who sadly passed away, him and his brother. And Liverpool, exciting at the moment. Despite what I just said, some brilliant signings that they've brought in. They really are going for it. You've got to credit them for that. And I think this is their strength at home. So, yeah, I can't see nothing apart from a Liverpool win.
Yeah, it's exactly the sort of opening day you want. You don't want Old Trafford. Yeah. You want Bournemouth at home, and we played them on the US tour, and they just look like they've not replaced the players that they've sold.
I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for teams like them, right? Like they've worked so hard to build such a great team last year, and they've literally lost a lot. I think the only person they've only been able to keep hold of is Semenya. Everybody else, of those star players, are Hyson, and they're all gone. I mean, decimated. It is really hard on teams like that. You know what I mean? They just can't, you build such a great team over one season and the next season they're gone. I really do think there needs to be some sort of, I don't know what you could do because of how football runs with finances and that, but some sort of rule change that says that, a player couldn't just move the next season or something like that. At least give a team a chance to have, once they've built a good squad, to keep that squad together for a little bit,
It's last season was so competitive, wasn't it? Anybody could beat anybody. But I think this year, the top 5 or 6 just look so strong, especially the top 4. We've just spent so much money. I think they'll be too strong this year. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Liverpool win as well with that one. Into Saturday, another good game. Villa, Newcastle, Saturday lunchtime. I'll start on this one. So, yeah, I mean, Newcastle, I think, finally have signed Jacob Ramsey. They've brought a centre-back in, still not brought strikers in. Isak won't play. And they got Aston Villa, who've done very little themselves, sold Jacob Ramsey to Newcastle because they always have to be FFP compliant, obviously. So it's a tough one to call on an opening day. I'm going to go... I spoke to a Villa fan the other day and they just said, look, loads of people saying we haven't bought players, but in Unai we trust. So I'm just going to go on the home advantage there. If it was at Newcastle, I'd go Newcastle win, but I'm going to go Villa win in that one, Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I'm going Villa as well. You wouldn't want to be going to Villa opening day of the season as well. That's a tough place to go to. Unai Emery is a good manager, and again, even though they ain't really brought no one in, and they need to bring people in, but they got a good team. And remember, they bought a lot of players in January. Remember, they made signings. I know some of them were loan signings, but they still got the basis of a very good side. And I think yeah, Villa are going to be strong at home all season. So I go for a Villa win.
3 o'clock games. We've got Brighton against Fulham. Tough game to call that one, Robbie. I think that's you.
Yeah, I'm going Brighton for that one again. I'm going with the home advantage. Opening day of the season, the home team really does benefit from the crowd being behind. And Brighton are a very good side. Very, very good side. Fulham, a good side, but they haven't really brought no one in. They're threats of losing certain players, and I don't know if they're fully up to speed yet. I've not really followed their pre-season, but Brighton at home, I think you've got to go with them.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a draw because Fulham have basically kept the status quo, haven't they? So they might be able to keep that momentum going. Whereas Brighton, good players, but I don't know. I think they should have done better last year. So I'm going to go with an open day draw. Sunderland, West Ham. I'm first on this one. And this is probably my first wild card. I've been very impressed by Sunderland's transfer window. I don't know most of the players they bought, but they have bought a lot of players. Xhaka's going there as well. Opening day. West Ham. I just think this has got... I really hope one of the new teams get promoted teams stay up this year. And I know it's opening day, but these are the games you've got to win. You've got to beat the West Hams and the Wolves and the teams like that. So I'm going to put it all on the line. Everything on red. Sunderland are going to beat West Ham.
Okay. I'm going to go for a draw. I think, listen, as much as new signings and all that, and it's beautiful, but the reality then sometimes of the Premier League hits. And then when you come up against teams like a West Ham, they still have some quality, like, Jared Bowen. I think he's good enough to get into any of the top teams. You know what I mean? They've still, I know West Ham, they haven't really bought. I know a lot of people are saying that, that they may struggle this year. They struggled last year, but let's not forget. But, I don't know. I just get the feeling that, it'd be like a really electric atmosphere return. But again, lots of new signings. How have they assimilated into the team that, basically came through the championship last year and weren't I think came through the playoffs, didn't they? They didn't win it. Coming up against a seasoned Premier League team, West Ham can defend and catch teams on the counter. Draw for me.
Your favourite team after Arsenal, Tottenham, are going to be playing Burnley. This is you, actually. Yeah. So I'm surprised they're playing Saturday, actually, afternoon.
That's crazy, isn't
Wednesday night, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they play Wednesday night. And this is why this should be an absolute banker for the weekend. But, they had to play the other night. And that would have took a lot out. Yeah, I know he didn't go extra time in that, but that takes a lot out of you. That was a full-on game. And the Spursy returned the other night. The Spursy returned 2-0 up. They were even winning the penalties. And they blew that as well. And whilst they, you can see very well organised under Frank, a lot different. But I'm going to be really intrigued to see how they play in this game, because these are the sort of games where Tottenham fans, I know them very well, they ain't going to have it like, 9 defenders on the pitch. They expect Tottenham to go out and blitz a team like Burnley. So what's Thomas Frank's style going to be in a game like this? It's really hard for me. Listen, I'm going to go with him winning, but I wouldn't put my house on it for sure, because these, especially after, as I said, they've just had to play a full-on game the other night, coming up against a fresher Burnley. Burnley made it, remember, Kyle Walker and a couple of decent signings there as well. And remember last season, Burnley, how they came up with a really good defense, rock solid, really hard to beat. Could they come, put a little low block in, frustrate Spurs? Spurs to scrape it, man. I don't think they're going to blow.
They lose. They have dropped
Yeah.
points in last year. But I've got to be fair. I was impressed with how quickly they adapted to his system
Yeah. To be fair,
on
yeah, you
Wednesday.
can't.
And I like Thomas Frank, and he has got. I mean, one thing I will
I
say.
used to like him, Mark. I used
Yeah.
to like Thomas Frank. I don't like him anymore.
Well, yeah, you can't, can you? It's like I used to like Grealish, and then he signed for Man City. But yeah, I think they've got a really good squad, Robbie, as well. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
Ange really did mess up in the Premier League with. I know they had injuries, but when I looked at their squad, it's good. So I'm gonna go Tottenham win. 5:30, Wolves, Man City. This is me. I'd love. I'm gonna bloody watch it. I can't. I'd love Wolves to win, but yeah, I can. It's not a bad. I think Man City and Chelsea have got quite good starts to the season, comparable to Liverpool and Arsenal. So
Yeah.
a standard City win this, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won by a lot and everyone was blowing Pep's trumpet for him. Yeah, so I'm going to go Man City win.
Yeah, City win for me. Wolves again, another one of them teams that lost a lot of players, a lot of experienced players as well.
Yeah,
is it Semedo, Ant Nuri? They've got a lot of adjusting to do. I do like their manager. I think they'll be all right this. I still think they'll survive this season,
yeah.
but City on the first game, and Haaland's back fully fit. Mamouche, let's not sleep on him. He was great when he came in January. So I'd go for a City win.
Into Sunday, again, another team that we fancy for the top four and maybe outside for the title. Chelsea, home game, opening game of the season. Crystal Palace. What I will say is that, well, it's you first on this one, isn't it? But Crystal Palace have kept all their players for the moment. I mean, one of them might be joining you.
For the moment, they've kept everybody. Eze linked heavily with us, with Tottenham, Mark Gay, with Newcastle and Liverpool. I reckon at least one of them is going to go. But at the moment, they'll all be ready for that game. I was at an event last night, and Chelsea. I get it. I get why Chelsea fans are really optimistic ahead of the new season. Because they've made some good signings, won the Club World Cup, of course, but that's a cup competition. And the way they were writing off Palace, like it's some easy game. I'm like, I don't think so, man. The Palace, they looked all right last week again against Liverpool. They beat City, very well organised team, very good manager, Oliver Glasner, and some quality in that team. Ismail Sarr, underrated player. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a bit of a surprise here. I'm just going to go for a draw, a frustrating, because I just think with Chelsea, they've got a very, very good side this season. I do think they're going to be top four. And I think they'll be pushing this year. But I've still got doubts over their defence, especially with Colwell being injured. It all depends what they do before the end of the window in defence. Brought in a lot of attacking players. And as I said, at this time of the year, all of us get caught up with the attackers. But what about the defence? A frustrating. I'm sure Palace drew there last year as well.
Probably, yeah.
I'm going to go draw.
I do like Palace, but I think I'll go with Chelsea on the opening day. It's pre-season, it's hard, but from what I've seen of them, and even that João Pedro just makes them look. Chelsea's problem's always been scoring goals, and he looks like he's someone that's going to score goals, which has been Chelsea's problem. So I'll go Chelsea win. This is an interesting one. Also 2:00, Forest, Brentford. Brentford decimated. Norgard's gone to Arsenal. Keeper's gone. Obviously, Wizard won't play, and Burmo's got. Yeah, I'm definitely going for Forest win on that. Bloody hell! I mean, that's worse than Bournemouth. Really, they've lost, and their manager, and that's the big thing. Yeah, Forest win. No messing around.
You fear for Brentford this season, man. Like if they can survive, because literally everybody's gone. All the best players have gone. The goals have gone. Even Norgard used to score a lot of goals for them and set pieces and that. That's gone, as well as Wissa and Buemo. They got no chance. I think of. Well, I shouldn't say that. They've got a chance, but it depends. We know with them clubs they buy smart and stuff like that, but I can't see them winning this game. Forest at home always strong anyway. Forest win.
They've bought well as well. I mean, they've bought a few players that might surprise people, a bit like that Brazilian centre back they have, Murillo. They've brought a guy, Jesus.
Jesus, yeah.
He looks good.
Linked with Arsenal. Yep. he was gonna, Arsenal were gonna get because remember they've got Edu now, sporting director, who was at Arsenal. So some of those players that they're bringing in are players that were linked with us. So
they look good. They look good. He looks. I mean, I only watched a little bit in the Club World Cup, but I said when I watched him, I went, he'd do well in the Prem. And someone was like, he's going to Forest, so it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Man United, Arsenal, we've done. I'm going draw Arsenal. Draw, and Robbie's going to Arsenal, which leaves our last game, which is Monday night. Newly promoted Leeds against Everton. Again, difficult one to call. Yeah. This is you, Robbie, for the last one.
Yeah, Grealish is there, but I don't know if he's only just arrived. Again, I mean, it's one of these situations where players have just got there. Let me go Leeds. Let me go. You know what I mean? I wouldn't fancy going to Leeds first game. That place is going to be rocking. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Leeds winning this one.
It's like the Sunderland West Ham game. It's the game that if you want to stay up, you've got to win. You don't. Yeah. You've got to win these sort of games. I don't know enough about Leeds. We played them right at the start of the window, and I don't think that was going to be their team. Whereas Everton, we played on tour; they looked half decent. So I'll go. I do agree with you that it'll be rocking at Ellen Road, but I'll go with a draw on that one. I'll go for a draw. But yeah, I mean, look, Leeds, Sunderland. I'm hoping
quite easily
they can get results this weekend. Can make it interesting. Yeah. Good to be back, Robbie. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to be back. Looking forward to it and looking forward to this season. And yeah, I mean, who you think is going to win it? Oh, you said Arsenal. What's your top four then?
I got Arsenal first, Liverpool second, Man City third, Chelsea fourth.
All right, I've gone, and it's very controversial. So I've gone Arsenal first, Man City second, Liverpool third, and then fourth place Chelsea. I could be wrong, right? Of course, listen, Liverpool are the favourites to win it, but I don't know what it is, right? Something just keeps telling me that a lot of new players, and also I think the key to it is not even the new players with Liverpool, is can Salah and Van Dijk do it again? If they can, they'll win it, I think, because despite all the new signings, they're the two players that they're the two unbelievable players that they have. But they are getting a bit older now. Is that time factor going to catch up on them? And they're not quite as, But if those two are on it, they'll probably win it.
See, I've gone from Arsenal on the basis that I think Liverpool will be fantastic. I mean, I've said I think they'll win the Champions League, but I just think this is Arsenal's season. They've shown amazing consistency. They've got Gyökeres. I'm saying if you go Liverpool, understand it, but I think it will be a really good title race, and hopefully,
yeah, hopefully
they're playing each other game 3 though. It's like the starts of the season does give momentum. So really excited for it. Anyway, be interesting what we're talking about in over the next few weeks, and it's great to have it back.
Great to have it back, and great to see you. And I'm glad you had a good summer. But let's go. Ready for it.
Starting on Sunday. So I'll be on DR Sports on Monday morning reacting to this. And we'll see you then. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like, subscribe, check out DR Sports. We'll speak to you on the next one.